We are extremely excited about playing in the Pac-12 Championship game Friday night. This is a awesome accomplishment by our young men, and it's been a phenomenal season, and we want to keep it going in the right direction. We play an excellent football team in Washington. Looks like they don't have any weaknesses, and they played really well. Coach Peterson is a heck of a coach, and I coached against him one year when I was at San Jose State, and he was at Boise State, and beat us bad. So he does a great job, and of course we played against him here a couple years ago. It's going to be a lot of fun for us, and I'll take any questions at this time about yes.
Pac-12 All-Conference team was just named, and I guess I'll put you on the spot here. 10-2 team has 2 first-team selections. Is that surprising?
The reason that we won this year is because we have really good football players, and we have a lot of good football players. We definitely have excellent assistant coaches that have done a great job, but I definitely feel like we should have had more guys on the first team all-conference. That's how you win, but that's how they chose it. The thing that I think is awesome about our football team is we truly are a team, and we play as a team. We don't blink. They keep playing hard. They really don't care who gets the credit. They really don't. These young men, especially the seniors and the seniors and the fourth-year juniors, have bonded together and understand their roles and play them to the utmost. But we really have a lot of good athletes, and I think you'll see that when the NFL draft and some other things come around. So we have some really good football players, and I'm very, very proud of them.
Mike, this seems like a silly question considering the success that you've had already this season. What are you more concerned, if concerned is even the right word, about taking on a team like Washington or dealing with the moment, which you guys have handled so well this season, but you've got 2 things that you're really kind of dealing with this week.
Right. It's going to be exciting for both teams, going to the Pac-12 championship game. You're the only game in the country on that night. It's a national televised. There's been a lot of things at both places this week where we're having to do like commercials and all these different things, which is awesome for the kids. I mean, how cool is that, And so I think they're handling it really well. They know what has got us at this point, and they know how well we'll have to play and how well we'll have to prepare to play against Washington. So I know we'll come out. I know we'll play well, and hopefully we'll play well enough to score 1 more point than Washington does, and they're thinking the exact same thing over there too.
Coach, I know you've talked a lot about Cepho, but I guess are you ever amazed at his toughness? I mean, that hip pointer comes back in. I mean, does that not shock you anymore when he takes pounding and he just bounces back up and goes back in?
No, I always love talking about all our guys and Cepho, especially his toughness and his competitive fire and how much it means to him for this team to be successful, and I guess he does amaze me at times about how his toughness and how he keeps playing and how he keeps fighting and how he can fight through things mentally also. But it's not a surprise. But he does amaze me sometimes for sure. But I'm so used to it. Sometimes it doesn't faze me, and I'll go back and kind of watch the tape and go, wow. He just kept going. So he gives me a few wow moments, there's no doubt.
Coach, what are the unique challenges that this Washington football team brings to the table? Of course, they're very good on both sides of the football, but, just as far as something maybe you haven't seen so far this year?
They're extremely talented. That's what they do. They have playmakers on both sides of the football. Their quarterback is extremely accurate. They have an excellent scheme on defense and on offense. So they're really well coached. Their kick returners, Ross on kickoff returns and Pettis on punt returns, are, two of the top guys in the country. So they're a very, very talented football team, and they've played really well this year. And they've we got to try to find some flaws in them somewhere. I don't know if they have any, and we'll just have to keep keep fighting and keep playing and find a way to get it done. They're an excellent team.
Mike, two things. You talk about the your honor of getting Pac-12 Coach of the Year, and then also one that I think you'd rather talk about, Ryan Moeller,
Yeah.
starting this season. I mean, really as a reserve, and he's now first team All-Conference. Can you talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
the season he's had?
Oh, Ryan is just an amazing young man. If you've been around him much, he has a phenomenal personality. He is extremely a physical, tough football player. He's very powerful and strong, and he made the special teams position first team, which he should, and then the way he's played for us at our what we call our buff position, he has really done a great job there for us, and he's just he loves the University of Colorado. He's a Coloradoan. It means everything in the world to him to be playing here, and he has helped us elevate ourselves to where we are. And I can't thank Ryan enough. And I enjoy watching Ryan play, and I enjoy having Ryan around. He keeps me in. We sit by each other in our special teams meetings every day. So he's a good one. It's just these young men and how well they've played and how they've just bought into everything that we've asked them to do. Our coaching staff has done a phenomenal job with them. And then all our auxiliary people, everybody that touches our young men have had an absolute pride and commitment to us being successful. And, from our trainers, our strength staff, our equipment managers, our football ops, everybody has done so much to propel these young men and instill confidence in them and belief. And that's what's happened. And so I'm just fortunate enough to have head coach in front of my name, and I just get to go along with the ride. So it's pretty special.
Hey, Mike, Chris Peterson has
Yeah.
that Boise State blood in him.
Yeah.
Not one trick play's coming, but probably multiple trick plays
Right.
coming. So how much time, I get a couple parts to this question, how much time do you guys have to prepare for trick plays? And I guess how do you prepare for something that you know is coming, but you're not exactly sure in what way, shape, or form? And then two, as a coach, is it an art to knowing when to call a trick play to get the maximum benefit out of it?
Yeah, he does. They do a great job with their trick plays. We've run quite a few trick plays throughout this year, and they do an excellent job of it. How they execute them, how they perform them, and yeah, there are times that I think are good times. They feel like they want to call them, and I'm pretty sure they look at what personnel you might have on the field on defense, or how they can get you in a certain coverage that they would like to attack with that trick play. So Jim Levitt and our defensive staff has done a very good job of working on that, and you just got to have great eyes on the back end. Your secondary has got to be very disciplined with their eyes, and if we're disciplined with our eyes, we'll make some plays on that, and hopefully we are disciplined and able to make some plays in there. But they do an excellent job at it. There's no doubt.
Mike, I talked to one of your former San Jose State players, Noel Grigsby, who's
Noel.
Yeah.
How do you know Noel?
I just got a hold of him through Lawrence.
Okay.
There, and,
Yeah, he's awesome.
So he's coaching. He's assistant coaching now at Crenshaw High School, and says he pulls a lot of the lessons that you taught him, and a lot of those guys, he said, now are getting older, starting to get into their lives, and he said are applying a lot of the lessons as he talks to guys, and they've really enjoyed this thing with you. How much does that mean to you to kind of hear that these guys are following along with this?
Wow. Noel is amazing. He was the leading receiver in the history of the school, and then Chandler Jones beat him because Noel got hurt. Two of my favorite guys. But Noel Grigsby, I'll tell you a real quick story on Noel Grigsby, why he's so special. He has unbelievable parents, and came from Crenshaw High School, was there. When I got there, he was a little skinny DB, and he could catch the ball so well, we moved into receiver. And so we're playing a game his first year there, and he's caught like 50 balls, and he hadn't dropped a ball all year. So we're playing Utah State, and the ball hits him right in the hands, and he drops it. And before anybody can say anything, and this was our first year, so there wasn't a lot of people in the stands, and we weren't very good, his mom at the top of her and stands up and kids, catch the ball, Noel, catch the ball. You know, and I was like, wow. You know, a coach didn't have to say anything. You know, some parents are like, if you get on the kid, no, she was like, you better catch, that's what you do. And so Noel, to hear that from Noel means the world to me, because that's what, to me, it's all about. If you keep helping develop young people, and they go through all kind of things, and they're 18 to 22 years old, and they make mistakes, and you cry with them, you hug with them, you discipline them, you're with them. And to hear him say that means the world to me, because I really think I'm judged when they're around 30 or 35. I really do. That's my ultimate judgment, me personally. Did they understand what we're trying to teach them? To be uncommon men, to be uncommon fathers, to be businessmen with integrity, to live their life with fullness by making the right choices. And if they're using those slogans and understanding with the meaning of it and the heart of it, then they really caught the essence of what I was trying to teach. And I think along the way, when you do that, I said it at San Jose State and I said it here, and the kids, I ask you, if we do all those things, we'll win more games than anybody ever dreamed we would win. And it happened there and it's happening here. So it's all from the inside out.
Hey,
Appreciate you telling me that.
Coach, with your Coach of the Year honors and the turnaround that you've made this season, I'm wondering how many times you've thought about your father and your dad. And
Oh, you're trying to make me cry? Yeah, I think about my dad all the time. I'm holding I keep his Bobby Dodd coin with me. Everybody knows that, but it's something I do keep with me. And it's not a luck charm. It's what would you do in this situation? Calm down. It really is what it is, and thinking about him. No, I was honestly at practice today. I had a moment where I was just kind of looking around. I said, wow, we're still practicing. You know, wow, here we go. And I thought, this would be really cool if Dad could see this. So I do think of him quite often.
Coach, one of the mantras around here tends to be the most important team on our schedule is Colorado
Yes.
itself. How do you balance out preparation for Washington and the obvious scheming that you have to do, but the message that still has to apply to we've got to be who we are, we can't change things? Can you just talk about how you handle that?
Right, and what we mean by that is you do tweak your game plan from different teams that you play, but our whole mantra is take care of Colorado. So that's how we meet, that's how we practice, that's how we live life, that's how we take care of our bodies, that's how we treat each other. So if you take care of Colorado and you prepare the right way, and then we go out there and play fast and tough, which that's our motto that we talk about all the time, and that's what we do, then we can perform and we have an opportunity to beat anybody we play. But if we're so worried about the other team or what's going on or not taking care of our business and thinking we can just show up and win, that's not the case. So it's all the preparation is what we mean by take care of Colorado.
Coach, 2 years ago today, you guys are playing Utah out on that field.
Yep.
Real good chance to win. Sefo throws a pick six late. He told me he's heartbroken as he walked off that field. People are yelling at him. What does it mean to you now to see those same people chanting his name? He can't even walk around campus without people wanting to take pictures with him.
Right. Well, I've said it a few times. I mean, it really means everything to me that Sefo was the guy that got to do this, because it doesn't always happen that way, and very rarely does it really. And so for him to be able to do it, for our players that are here to be able to do it, I told Cheeto today, we were walking on the practice field in the IPF, and I looked at him and I walked over to him and said, man, it just hit me. I'm never going to see you play on that field again at Folsom. It should have hit me before. I mean, it did, but it really just, when I saw him walking by, he goes, I know it. I can't believe it either. And I said, well, we got a lot more to do this year. He says, we sure do. And but I feel the same way about all of them, is what I'm trying to say. But Sefo being kind of the guy that kind of took the punishment in all kinds of ways, mentally and physically, and just kept ticking and kept going and kept putting one step in front of the other, really defined who we are as a program. And to me, he'll be a guy that they'll talk about for a long, long time as this thing keeps going.
Like Cheeto told me a little bit ago that I was talking to him about the defensive performance these last few weeks, and he said, yeah, we're still learning stuff about ourselves, like how good we can stop the run against Utah and how well we can play against the pass against Washington State. I'm just wondering, I know you believed in this team way back in fall camp, but as the years progressed, have you learned anything about this team that you didn't know? Have they been better at things that you didn't expect them to be?
What I learned about them was some of the questions y'all have asked as far as can they handle the success and then playing another big game and then the success and playing another big game. That was an unknown to me. I definitely believe they would, and I have concrete evidence that I thought they would because their work ethic and their commitment level was above board. They understood what got them here because it took such a long time for them to work and grind through it that it's just an instilled culture and habit to go to work. And so, you know, we went back and practiced in the old bubble last week because I want to take them back to their roots, you know. And a lot of those young freshmen said, what's this? You know, you can't kick it high. The lights are weird. You know, I said, well, this is what it was for us all the time. And so they, I think I think it worked. And I got to get some of these younger guys. The guys are passing the culture down, but there might be some times we go back down there and do some few old good morning drills like we used to down there to make them realize how nice we got it.
Mike, has there been any one play of the season, one stretch, one game, one instance where you said to yourself, yeah, this is it. We are going to be this good?
Yeah. I said it after the Arizona State game. That was our breakthrough game. We haven't lost since. The dam broke and the water's flowing, and they're riding that raft, and the water keeps rising. And so hopefully we can keep going again this week, but they definitely understand it and they're locked in. And Washington's going to be locked in. It's just, I'm so proud of them they get to have this moment. So proud they get to have this moment.
Hey, Coach, Philip Lindsay, by his own admission, says, hey, Cepho has to tell me what to do half the time when I'm out there. But when you ask him about blocking, he takes as much pride and passion in protecting Cepho as he does running the ball. Have you had a player like that loves to deliver those big hits against guys that are coming at him that are 6'4", 250?
Yeah. Well, he's got a little bit of that little man syndrome in him, you know. And so he kind of done that all his life. And that's why I call him the Tasmanian Devil. I mean, he's just goes all the time. And I think half the time he's probably talking. That's why Cepho has to tell him what to do. He's probably not listening. He's probably talking. And but they, you know, he is so competitive. He doesn't want to he's a true example of he doesn't want to let his teammates down, period, in everything he does. And that's why he's a team captain, and they all see that. And that is a culture, that change that's happening throughout our whole team. Whatever their role is, they do not want to let their teammate down. And, you know, you've played and you understand what that's like. You've been on teams that were like that, and you've been on teams that weren't. And when you're on a team that's like that, it's pretty magical.
Mike, it seems from just being able to view the outside that Brian and Darren, and then obviously with you, it's been a good cohesive relationship that's been able to spark creativity and some of those things. We're not in the meeting rooms. How has that kind of evolved, that kind of collaboration offensively, and just how would you view how that's kind of come along as you guys started this year? 'Cause it was new.
Yeah, it's done real well. The meeting rooms, they're all in there. The whole offensive staff's in there, and then then later on in the evening, Brian and Chev go in Brian's office and they do the practice and a little bit more detailed in game plan if they kind of get all the ideas together and communicate during the game that way. You know, Brian Lindgren does, you know, the play calling, but they're talking in between series. They're sometimes talking they're talking quite a bit during the game and different ideas. And, you know, we have a set plan, and in between series they're talking, and so is the other staff on there. And here's what we want to come back out with the next series. Here's what we like to do in the red zone the next time. And so they've done an excellent job of working together, and it's worked out really well.
Mike, it's probably not a surprise that the two top defenses in the conference are facing off in Friday's title game. Do you think Jim will challenge your defense in that kind of way, challenging them to be the best defense on Friday night?
I don't know if we'll challenge them in that way, but I do know this. Offenses, we have an excellent offense, and you got to score points in today's college football. But it still goes back to defense, because offense just doesn't always click every game. Something goes wrong. You have a penalty. Somebody gets hurt. Somebody's off. The wind's bad or something. And so defense is something that, in a way, can show up every week and find a way to get it done for you. And that's what our defense has done this year, and that's what Washington's defense has done. And both teams have good offenses. So it's going to be a fun game to watch as you see those two defenses compete against in the game.
Final question.
Coach, can you just talk a little bit about, to piggyback off of that, Josh Tupou? It seems
Oh,
like
yeah.
he's a guy who's had a very unique path in his collegiate career and has really come on strong. Not that he hasn't played well all season, but
Right.
especially at the end of the year. Just
Yeah,
a few words.
Josh, I'm so proud of Josh and how he's, he could have, some people were trying to get him to go in the supplemental draft and do all that when he left school here. And he said no, he wanted to come back. He wanted to graduate from Colorado. He wanted to come here and finish with these guys. He wanted to kind of make sure he put his name back in the right place it should be. And so that's what he's doing. And since he's come back, he might not say this, but everybody goes, man, Josh talks to me. Josh's got a smile on his face. He communicates. It's like he's got a new lease on life, and he really doesn't take things for granted anymore. He's so thankful. And it's so awesome to see. And then, yes, football-wise, he's playing lights out. But that's also because he's feeling better about himself. And it's so awesome to see. And I enjoy watching him play. It's funny, we do commitment cards on Thursday nights. We'll do it this Wednesday night. We have a team meeting, just me and the team, and we do commitment cards. And he always says, my commitment to y'all, I'm going to control the A gaps. that's right from each side of the center, And he does. And he'll say other things, but that's always in it. And so I'm very, very proud of Josh.